Hello everyone, it's Ginger, and I'm going to be talking to you about situational awareness today, using footage recorded on this little flight run. And you can see here, I like to start off high over bases, and I'd seen on the map that this base was very TR heavy, and so I'm flying very high in order to just sort of assess what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing a lot of enemy air, and I'm also seeing a lot of enemy ground forces that are running pretty much uncontested against the few NC that are actually at Scarred Mesa right now. And I fly close enough on accident that I actually start taking some fire, and so I back off. And it turns out that I've actually pulled one Mossy, which is very good because it's only one Mossy and it's very far from the facility itself, which means I'm pretty much able to take him out without any outside intervention. And here I pull a second Mossy. But I cue him and I realize he's a member of SICK, and a lot of SICK know that I'm a good pilot and that a lot of their members aren't going to be able to take me out, because that outfit is a little bit familiar with me. And so I burst away, because he's flying back to Scarred Mesa in hopes of pulling me there, and so I don't fall for that. I re-engage, and I try to fly at Scarred Mesa from the east this time, in order to take him by surprise. And on the way there, at Red Ridge, I notice a landed Mossy with the pilot still inside, which is very fortunate, and I'm able to quickly take out that Mossy and get the kill. And here what I do, without using Afterburner, because that's very loud, I fly down behind this rock to hide in case I had, by shooting that Mossy, in case I had made anyone at Scarred Mesa notice me. But it doesn't appear that anyone noticed me killing that Mossy, and I appear to be relatively safe. And I still had the element of surprise. And I'm trying to tackle how to deal with these people. And at first I'm thinking I should fly low, but the restricted area keeps me out. And I eventually decide that the best way to take out one of those Mossies would be to attempt to one-mag it, which is something that the Reaver is very good at. But I know that if I miss a lot of shots here, I'm going to have to dogfight that Mossy over all of this enemy armor. So I need to hit all of these. And I'm very successful with a lot of my shots. And I'm able to relatively quickly take out that Mossy. And because there are no Reavers in the area, there isn't a whole lot of anti-air, and I don't get punished too much for the amount of time I did linger there. And the only unit that really noticed me was this lock-on heavy that I just evaded, and also the other Mossy noticed me as well, and I'm able to pull him away from the battle and begin dogfighting him as well. And he appears to be fairly good because he does a reverse maneuver right here. But unfortunately, he crashes himself into the ground and dies. And I get locked onto by the heavy, but I'm able to fly out of range of the lock-on. It appeared to have been a striker, because I flew out of range and the lock-on unacquired itself. And so here I'm paying attention on my speakers, and I'm able to hear another Mossy. And the Mossy appears to be newer for a couple of reasons. First, he didn't hear me. Second, as I shoot him here, I can tell he's running scout radar. And the third, he crashes into a rock, which is nice. And I notice another Prowler as he crashes into a rock, and he appears to be AFK. And he also appears to be EXE, so I know he's not that great at this game. Haha. And I take him out in a very creative way. And one more for good measure. And he's still smoking his bowl, or looking at the map, or whatever. And I quickly take him out. And now I decide I'm a little bit low on ammo. It's best to head back to base. I have had a pretty good run, taking out a lot of their Air Force. And my goal here, I've decided, is to take out as much air as possible as the enemy pushes in towards Regent Rock, and sort of keep the battle free of TR. And I hear gunfire, and then I eventually hear another Mossy, and I see this gentleman smoking, for whatever reason, and flying straight at me, which was not a very good decision on his part, especially since he was smoking. And I see another smoking Mossy here, who makes another bad decision to land, and I'm able to quickly knock him up as well. And here I begin to realize that Scarred Mesa is no longer where the TR is. They have taken the facility and they're beginning to move in towards Regent Rock, and the NC is going to respond to that because Regent Rock's a fun place to fight. And also because it's very close to the NC warp gate. So I realize that there's about to be a battle happening here. And so I fly high over the battle and try to get a feel of where the enemy armor is and where most of the threats are. And in the process, I'm able to see this Mossy, and I'm able to engage him in any way I want because of my early decision to fly high. And flying high over a battle before you enter it is a very good thing to do. And because there aren't a lot of Reavers in the area, I assume there still isn't a lot of anti-air. And I have enough of a time window to dive bomb this Mossy and take him out as well, before any of their armor really responds. And I burst away, because I don't want to spend too much time over their armor line. I don't want people to pull anti-air, and I don't want to get shot. But I decide, since most of the enemy air is gone, it's time for me to participate a little bit in the air-to-ground game. And I decide, I think, even though I can't fly straight into the battle, because I'll just get shut down, I can take out this Lightning here, who's on the outskirts. And he appears to not be a Skyguard, and he's firing on our team. So I get behind him so as to deal maximum damage, and start vortexing him. And I get a clip in before he aims at me, in which case I fly up and out of his actual range, out of his degree of ability to fly up. And he repairs at this point, and I'm able to kill the driver because of his decision to repair, when he should have probably just flown under the bridge. And I get hit by a lock-on here. I have stuck around too long, people have started pulling anti-air, and that lock-on shuts me out of the battle now because my health is too low, and I'm not able to finish off that Skyguard, or that Lightning. And I want that Lightning. I want to kill that Lightning very badly because the driver's dead, and I know it's just sitting there. And so I decided the best decision would be to quickly repair and get my health up as soon as possible. And then go back in there and try to finish off that Lightning. And hopefully in the process I won't have to deal with getting locked onto by a heavy. And so I fly back as quickly as I can, and immediately get locked onto by a heavy. And again, I fail to dodge the lock-on. And I try to locate the heavy here, and all that really serves to accomplish is allow him to lock onto me again, but I'm fortunately able to fly under the bridge just in time. And so the heavy makes a mistake here, and he runs in front of a rock with no cover, and I'm able to quickly locate him and take him out with my Vortec, which, for the moment, frees me of resistance on the ground. And so I'm able to take out this Gugger without really anyone contesting it. So I start to open fire. And I hop in thermals here and see that there's another NG nearby, and just in case that's a driver, I immediately switch positions to him. And it is not, but that gives me more free reign to take out this Lightning. So I'm starting to take damage and I need to rearm, so I fly low over Regent Rock, over the battle. And flying low does have its benefits. You are going to take damage if you fly low over a big fight. But it's not going to be enough, because you're going to be, from other people's perspective, you're going to be whizzing by them so fast that they can't really do any sustained damage to you, and they can't really acquire any lock-ons on you either. So it's a pretty beneficial thing to do if you need to get from point A to point B, as long as there isn't too much enemy air. And right about here, I find a Mossy. And my goal here is to clear out the enemy air so that my friendly lolpotters and Dalton the Libs can wreak as much havoc as possible, and I want them to be able to do that freely. So I very much want to take out any Mossies that are over Regent Rock, and any enemy air in general. Excuse me, that's over Regent Rock. And so I pursue this Mossy, and he appears to be a fairly good pilot because he's fighting in hover here, but he does not notice me, and I'm able to swoop in and take him out very quickly, granting my team air superiority again, but a lock-on quickly shuts me out of the battle. I'm not able to have any direct intervention at Regent Rock because any flak or lock-ons are just going to shut me right out, and that's a problem with ESFs in big battles right now. Even though we have air superiority, there's nothing I can really do to help exercise it other than getting really creative, like with that Lightning. And so I'm able to see another Mossy here, but this is risky because he's over Xenotech, and I don't know what the situation is at Xenotech. And I'm trying to swoop over at him from below, and he's able to hear me and flies away, and I start taking damage at Xenotech, and there's a lot of gunfire everywhere. And so I'm still chasing, I'm still going for the kill, but it appears to be a little bit too hectic for me. And that really becomes apparent when I see an anti-air turret manned at Crossroads right here. And once he flies past that manned anti-air turret, I decide there's no way I can continue chasing. And I make the right decision, because I'm getting locked onto as well, and I fly between these two rocks and immediately exit the area. And he follows me, which is very lucky. And he tries to take me out, but he's not able to. And there's also NC flak here, which is very good for me, and there's another site as well. which also isn't actually shooting at me, and so the flak tears the mosquito to shreds, and I'm able to chase the scythe as well. And the scythe does some good evasives here, but altogether he's not able to evade me. I do take him down eventually. And so the footage from here on out, after I kill the scythe here, it kind of slows down, and it becomes a little less relevant to situational awareness, so I've decided to cut it off here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two. Let me know in the comments if there's anything more you want to learn about situational awareness, and also if there are any future videos that you would like to see, anything you want me to cover in terms of flight. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you later.